Hello everyone, it's Theme Park Avenue, I'm Eric, and here is a brand new theme park battle. Today, we're going to see if Cedar Point can finally be dethroned by Six Flags Great Adventure. Before we get into this legendary park battle, please subscribe to the channel for more coaster content. I do park battles, rankings, reviews, and much more. Now, regarding this battle, Cedar Point has been undefeated in these battles. It's gone against Six Flags Magic Mountain, Kings Island, and other great parks. None have come even close to defeating it. And now some people have told me they think Great Adventure stands a chance. And it's cute that they think that, but let's see if it actually does. Let's begin with the coaster matchups, and as usual, the B&M inverts. This is going to be Batman the Ride and Raptor. I personally think both are excellent inverts, but Raptor is more intense and has a stronger layout for me. So overall, I give Raptor the first point and Cedar Point gets the lead. Now for the mine trains. This one is a bit tougher, but Cedar Creek Mine Ride I found a bit smoother than Runaway Mine Train, and I do like the location over the water more, so I do give Cedar Point another point. Now for hypercoasters, this is a very weird one. Magnum is a ride many love, Nitro is a ride many love. For both of those, I think the general opinion is more positive than mine. I like both of these rides quite a bit, but I think they're some of the weaker hypers I've been on. Magnum has better airtime, but it's also a lot more painful for me. I know there are ways to avoid the pain, but even at Magnum's best, I don't think it beats Nitro overall. Not really even that close personally, so I will be giving Nitro this point. Now the Stratocoasters, of course, Dragster and King Dakar. A major matchup. King Dakar is taller and faster, which may draw some toward it. However, like many of the coaster enthusiasts, I find that Dragster is smoother, has better restraints, and is possibly more thrilling than King Dakar with its launch. Now some kiddie coasters, Woodstock Express and Harley Quinn Crazy Train. I think Woodstock Express is better, it gives a longer layout, and it's more fun, so the half point will be going to Cedar Point. And now let's get some more kiddie coasters out of the way. We have Wilderness Run and Lil Devil Coaster. Wilderness Run's a cute little classic, very small, but Lil Devil Coaster is genuinely one of the worst I've ever been on, to the point where I almost put it as number 1 on my top 10 worst coasters list. It is really bad. Painful, goes through multiple circuits so you feel the pain again, and it's just horrible. So Cedar Point definitely earns the half point. Now floorless coasters, Bizarro and Rougarou. Rougarou, it gets better every time I ride it. It gets smoother in the first half and more intense in the first half, but the second half's never really done it for me. I think it's weaker, it doesn't feel very forceful, and it's just really rough in the second half. Bizarro will be taking the point. And now some family coasters, very different from each other, Skull Mountain and Iron Dragon. I will be giving the point to Skull Mountain. This one may surprise some. Iron Dragon is fun and all, it's good for what it is, but I found Skull Mountain to be more intense, and I love the facade, and I think it's just a bit more fun overall. That is why it gets the points. Now it is time for random B&M matchup, because these two are very different, Gatekeeper and Superman Ultimate Flight. I like both a lot, both are really underrated in my book. I do think Gatekeeper is better though. More inversions, better inversions, I found it more intense personally. I think it's really fun, both are great, but I do give Gatekeeper this point. And now for very different coasters with snappy elements, I guess, I don't know. I wanted to compare really top rides in this one. Maverick and Jersey Devil Coaster. Maverick wins for much better pacing and faster, snappier elements. It is definitely better overall. And now, best coasters. Though debatable, I think most would agree that Steel Vengeance and El Toro are the top 2 coasters of these parks and possibly top 2 in America. They're both amazing, but I have to give Steel Vengeance the point. It just is the best roller coaster I've ever been on. I think it's absolutely fantastic. Perfect layout, amazing airtime and intensity. it gets the point. And now that's all for the matchups. Extra coasters it is time for. Cedar Point has 5 points for Millennium Force, Valraven, Blue Streak, Gemini, and Corkscrew. And I'll be awarding Great Adventure 3 points for having the Joker, Green Lantern, and the Dark Knight coaster. Very interesting after the coaster matchups, we see Cedar Point is definitely winning. Now on to the drop towers. We have Zumanjaro and Power Tower. Power Tower is fun, and there's 2 different types of drop tower on it, but Zumanjaro is much taller and faster, and makes for a much more thrilling drop overall. Now for the flat rides. Cedar Point is getting 3 points for Max Air, Skyhawk, and Windseeker. All excellent flat rides, and I'll be giving Great Adventure 3 points as well. It has Cyborg Cyber Spin, Twister, and Wonder Woman Lasso of Truth. Now onto the dark rides. I will not be pitting them against each other, it's just going to be 1 point for each dark ride they have. Great Adventure earns a point for Justice League Battle for Metropolis, and Cedar Point gets a point for Snake River Expedition. Not a dark ride per se, but it is a themed boat ride that definitely is a great addition to the park and I think deserves a point. So that is why it will be getting one. Now water rides. This one, I'm not really going to compare the parks, but each one has a rapids ride and then a chute based ride. They're very different. One's a log flume, one is Snake River Falls, but they deserve a point each. So 2 points each for water rides. Now, for other rides, which one is more non-roller coasters? Just seeing a quantity over quality type estimate for one category. Great Adventure has 44 non-coaster rides. Cedar Point has 56. So that is much more than Great Adventure, meaning Cedar Point takes another point. Now on to the shows. Neither park's really that great with shows, honestly. This one's kind of tough to do, but I've seen some decent shows at Cedar Point, a few stunt ones. The 150th anniversary parade was really strong when I saw that. Great Adventure is definitely lacking in the show department, and while I think that's one of the least important aspects of any theme park, period, it is one category here, and it means Cedar Point is now 1 point further ahead of Great Adventure. Food is next, and I think both parks have some decent foods, but Cedar Point is definitely better in this regard. I think some underestimate the food at Cedar Point. They say it's not very good, but I think it's really, really strong stuff. Maybe it's some chains, but there's also some really great sandwiches, and though it is your standard theme park affair, it tastes great, and that's what's important in the theme park food, so that is what it's going to be getting. It gets 1 point for that. And now the park appearance, tough one. I think Great Adventure does have some pretty good theming in like Movie Town and a few other areas, but Cedar Point has the beautiful Frontier Town, which looks really nice, and the skyline and atmosphere really make it a nice looking park, even if it's not a highly themed park. So Cedar Point gets another point. Onto the layout. How easy is it to get around this park from one coaster to the next, one ride to the next if you're looking for a certain area? Cedar Point's layout is incredible. So many different paths to get from place to place that are easy to follow. It's almost impossible to get lost here. However, Great Adventure to this layout is a bit messy, out and back in many places, hard to get around. I definitely found it a little weird trying to get around parts of this place. I do like it a lot, but it's just not as strong as Cedar Point's. Now for operating season, and finally Great Adventure is getting a point. It is open for parts of December, which Cedar Point is not, and that is why Great Adventure gets the point for a stronger, longer operating season. And now for the final category, operations. Which one has better dispatches, maintenance, things like that. I think very few rides will be down if you go to Cedar Point. There's obviously some issues with like Top Wheel Dragster and maybe Steel Vengeance, but you'll be getting on most rides and they dispatch very quickly, even with the large crowds. Great Adventure is a little less consistent in this regard, and that is why Cedar Point gets the final point of the matchup. And that means, by a very large margin, Cedar Point has beaten Six Flags Great Adventure. Congratulations. Before any Great Adventure fanboys get at me in the comments or dislike button, remember, this is based on a series of categories, and it was not close. You may like Great Adventure better, and that's fine. I personally prefer Cedar Point, and Cedar Point just is more well-rounded as a park and has a stronger coaster collection. If you ask the general consensus, most would agree Cedar Point is better. But that does not mean Great Adventure is not good. Just because Cedar Point did win by a lot, Great Adventure is an excellent park. And that is the whole video. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Comment your thoughts down below. Feel free to disagree, feel free to agree. It's up to you. Subscribe to the channel. I'll see you next time.